Hello and welcome back to the Client Code podcast. Today we have Dorota with us. And guys, I am excited about this one because this one is all about the brain. So if you're as excited as I am to learn about the mind and how we can use it to better ourselves, then this episode is for you. Dorota, welcome to the Client Code podcast.
Hi, Carol. Thank you for having me. So exciting. I'm sure we're going to have a great time. And I'm very excited to share a little bit more about what I do and, why brain is so exciting and interesting for me personally.
I'm so excited to dive in. So let's do that right now. Dorota, what is your unique client code?
Yeah, very good question. So maybe let me start with a very quick intro. I am a brain coach. What does it mean? I coach people around their mindset, their thoughts, their thinking, the way they are creating patterns and their brain. And I focus on high achievers. I'm a high achiever myself. So I help high achievers, leaders, entrepreneurs, or young aspiring people who want to build great career. I help them design the life that actually is going to feel as good as it looks externally. Very often high achievers, they're, great, successful at work, at school, at uni, whole their life, but they are constantly chasing something and they know something is missing. Like you don't see it looking from outside because you just see that great, successful life, all the achievements, but they know. And also because they're high achievers, it's hard for them to admit that. It's hard to change something. So I've been that person myself. And personally, I started things changing step by step on my own. And I'm super proud of that. And that led me to at some point think, okay, like this is the direction I would like to go deeper. I started being fascinated about brain and those topics. So I started learning, exploring, studying whatever is possible. And that way, I created my own coaching program, which is focused on elite mind coaching framework. And it is the framework that is tailored to what high achievers need. How step by step, using 5 different pillars that are very important to address when you have high achievers mindset to help you actually build that successful life and just enjoy it. Not only wait for a good moment to, stop, reflect. And, I will start enjoying when I get to that next level of career or when I finally get the house I want or I still need to buy a car, right? And then I'll have fun.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
love
So,
that. I think there's a lot to unpack there. So let's go slowly. Okay.
yes.
First of all, I just want to tell you, you're going to achieve everything because I already can feel it. You are that kind of woman that when you put your mind to something, you're going to achieve it. So don't worry, that house and that car, it's around the corner. It's there. I can see it.
Thank you
You're
so
picking
much
it
for
up.
saying that.
You really will. You're welcome. So I know high achievers tend to want to achieve everything, but I'm sure they also struggle with things like burnout, overthinking, self-doubt. How can they overcome these things?
Yeah, a very good question. So, in my coaching framework, one of the pillars is related to boundaries and setting them properly. That's something that many high achievers omit, I think, for a couple of reasons based on my experience. Like, one, we feel like rest is lazy. Right. Like if you are
I've
sitting
heard
down
this
on the
before.
couch and, and resting, and okay, you're being lazy. I feel it myself often. So I had to really work a lot on my mindset and my thinking to reprogram that the rest is needed. Like it's something that fuels me up. But very often people just like keep going, right? You have a huge to-do list in your head, right? Because your head is constantly running. So you have all those things to do and you just go from one to another to another. That's
Yes.
why, boundaries are super essential because they help you in a structured, systemized way, protect what's the minimum that you actually need. To that, I also combine it with non-negotiables. So like, first of all, you set boundaries, but also to protect something that is no-go for you. Whatever
Yes.
it is, I think it's super important to create your own personal list and go with it. So boundaries is one thing, and non-negotiables. The second thing I believe it's very important is also the way we perceive that taking care of yourself. So I call it
Mm.
healthy selfishness. And
Okay.
I consider it as a very important piece that, you have this analogy of a plane, right? Whenever you're on the plane and you're about to take off, you get this info about what happens if there is, turbulence or like when the masks are popping out. And they always
Yes.
say,
You've got to put your
put
own one on.
yes first before assisting others.
Yes.
And this is
Correct.
for me something we should remember in life as well. Because if you are out of oxygen, you're not going to help anyone. And that's the same with high achievers, right? You have to be
Mm-hmm.
powerful, you have to have energy and, clear mindset to be able to help others, your family, kids, partner at work. Healthy selfishness is to me a part of creating those boundaries, non-negotiables, something that will help you keep going. And if you are in like constant chase for more because you haven't defined your enough, so
Yes.
you don't know like that enough is just constantly moving because the more we have, the more we want. So that's
I
changing. And
agreed.
then you keep chasing, you keep going somewhere and then you forget to rest or you don't want to rest because then in your head something will be saying, okay, like if I slow down, then I'm gonna fail or someone will kind of pass me by, right? And I don't want to let
Yes.
that because I am the best or I should be the best. That's how I was
Of
raised or
course.
programmed when I was young. Yeah. So,
I think it's important for when we are in those moments, when we've identified them, to sort of think, okay, I love how you put it with healthy selfishness, because some of us think it's selfish and think of it in a negative way. But by thinking at it as it, I don't know why I'm so tongue tied today, but by thinking about it in a positive way, to be like, hey, this is really good for me. If I cannot help myself, how can I step up and serve others? So truly, it's kind of about rewiring our mind and teaching ourselves new ways to show up in our leadership and in our businesses. And we do this using neuroscience, right? Which is what you do.
yeah, definitely. So another piece of what I coach on is that subconscious reprogramming, where you, first of all, like it's really important to start noticing things. So to start noticing what's happening in your life automatically. If you are looking at our brain activity, around 95% of whatever you do daily, you do on autopilot. So only 5% of decisions you're taking consciously using your prefrontal cortex, right? The rest is habits, identity, whatever wired behaviors you had that actually were programmed to you, most of them in childhood, because at that time our brain it's like a sponge, right? So it's absorbing everything
Mm,
what it sees, what's
yes.
happening to you, right? So you learn by observation, not only by experiences. And that's
Mm-hmm.
happening. And have you seen like little child like really controlling what they're absorbing or like parents like doing that very consciously? It's very rare, right? Or we haven't probably heard
Yes,
about it
exactly.
when we were kids, or at least, come on, like it's right now, it's that big boom to start thinking about it. And it's very powerful. So, you can, and we know that with neuroplasticity, that you can actually change your brain also in the adulthood, right? What in the past people thought that it's impossible. So now we prove that scientifically that it's possible. And people are more and more interested in that. And I got like just fascinated by brain. So that's why I think that subconscious reprogramming is very important piece for everyone, like, but specifically for high achievers, because we want to rewire those success and achievement thinking and the definition of what is to be successful into something that it's truly yours, not something that has been programmed or you subconsciously, right? And unaware, like being unaware, you just absorbed from the world because maybe a teacher was behaving in a specific way and you really admire that. Maybe parents, maybe grandparents, maybe your friends, right? Maybe you got it from, sometimes cultural
In your
things or
environment.
religion. Yeah, everywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
But to do that, you have to start being more aware, right? And you're building that awareness by noticing your thoughts. So we are starting with that to try to be very aware of the decisions you're taking. If you cannot do it in the moment, then at least try to analyze it post factum. Okay, what was happening? So maybe the next time it's going to be easier for you to spot it. But you can, of course,
Okay.
train that awareness with, like small, tiny exercises of being more mindful, right? I'm not saying here about just meditation. Like, yeah, you can meditate, it helps, but I'm not a fan of meditation. I'm more like person who enjoys visualization. That's my that's my
Mm.
focus, and very small, tiny exercises for my brain to train it. So you can start doing with that. But we also have some coaching tools in brain coaching to during the sessions to actually talk to clients and help them spot some patterns that are coming from their early years.
Okay.
That has, I would say, nothing to do with therapy, right? Because therapy is something different, like dig deeply in the past to understand things.
Yes.
I'm here more talking about curious questions to say, okay, where does this specific thinking come from? Like, do you
Come from.
remember or what are you associating it with? So that people can understand. Because if you understand the reasons, rationale behind something, I think it's
Hmm.
easier for you to start noticing it, start being aware of it. And that's the first step to change, right? Then you
Okay,
can
so
start
that
working on rewiring.
brings me. So that's what I wanted to ask you. Let's say you've identified it now. What is something that anybody listening could do to start to change that behavior? A quick exercise, something that they could tap into. They've acknowledged it, they've seen it, they're like, okay, next time I'll try do better. But is there something small that they could do to start shifting that behavior today? Or
Yeah.
that pattern today,
Uh,
I should say.
yeah. So if you have one pattern, right, and want to build different, right? First of all, like understand what would you like to build. And then I would
Mm-hmm.
say something very tiny that you can do everywhere is like quick visualization of how you would like to behave or perform in the same situation. So you close your eyes and mentally rehearse. Okay, next time I don't know, I'm going into that room and I'm talking to my boss. Instead of doing what I just did, this is how I would like to show up. So, there is a lot of proof behind mental training and rehearsal, how there is not really difference whether you're actually imagining something or whether you're living through that. You can still fire the
Mm.
same neurons and you can still learn and rewire your behaviors. That's why it's so powerful,
Wow.
right?
Yes.
So, like, there was a research, I think around 30 years ago, about people playing piano. They put four different groups of people. The control group wasn't doing anything. They just haven't been playing. They were just like not doing anything, no practice. The group one was practicing playing piano. Like, they get like detailed instructions what chords to play. The second
Mm-hmm.
group was just given a piano and they were supposed to just play whatever they want. And the third
Mm.
group was observing the first group, what they do, and after a couple of days, when they learned by heart what that group was doing, then they were asked to mentally rehearse it. And the results for group
Mm.
1 and 3 were very similar,
Wow.
higher than group second, who was just given piano and they were supposed to do something. So,
So
that's a proof that
just
you
by
can actually do that.
visualizing it, you can rewire the circumstances. That's really powerful because it's not, you know what? Sometimes when you have to do something, like you said, people are like, go and meditate, go and journal, go and this. This is a tool that anybody listening can do. It's free. You just have to set some time apart, be intentional with what you want to achieve, and really think it through. I love it. It's great.
That's why I love visualization, right? Because it's something I think it's much more fun and colorful than just meditation. It,
Hmm.
it can help you, imagine to become anyone you want, right? And then if you're
Yes.
mentally rehearsing that, then you're slowly, changing that subconscious thinking and your automatic reactions. And you're going to slowly see that you're actually applying that in your life. Of course.
I can see that working all the time. One of the things I want to do myself is I want to become a mom. And I've been doing lots of research on it. And it's so weird how I say weird, but it's actually really cool how your brain slowly finds those little things. Like now I notice things that have to do with children more, things that have to do with like on a YouTube. It's like the opportunities come in front of me. And by proxy, if you're a high achiever and your goal is to be promoted or your goal is to make $1 million, if you constantly work at that and think about that, it's like naturally you're attracting those things into your sphere, which is what you're saying, correct?
Yeah. So that's very funny that you brought that up. You can call it two ways, right? You can say you're attracting it, but what's actually
Yes.
happening in your head? We have a filter in your head. It's called RAS, reticular activating system. So it is the filter. Imagine every day, I think you're bombarded with like thousands of thoughts, right? We don't even are aware, like depending on the research, I think it's between 10 to 70,000 thoughts a day. You're probably aware of a couple of thousands of them, right? So your RAS system is the filter. And depending on how you set it up, in your case, baby, it's
Yes.
not that those things are appearing in your life. No, you are just programming your brain to notice them. And then you're ignoring the other stuff. So in the past, there were the same things around you, the same information, but you were not focused on that. So your filter was ignoring it. And now you changed, right?
I didn't even think of that. That's so cool.
Like this is like, again, for this, a very specific thing, a car.
Yeah.
If you want to buy a car, let's say you want to buy, red Mazda, suddenly you're going to see it everywhere. And it's not that they just started producing it, right? Or everyone has it. No, you just have the focus on that specific make and model and color.
Yeah.
So that's how it's
that's
happening
so true
with everything.
I'm laughing because there's a specific car I want to buy and I see it everywhere. Same color, same and it's like, how many of these cars are they making? I'm like,
Yeah.
Is there a sale or something? I'm like, why is this car following me?
And then you're thinking, okay, should I buy this? Maybe I should change the model or at least color, right? Because then everyone has it.
Yeah, I'm like, everyone has this car. I see it everywhere. It's like too popular. I don't know. That's fantastic. Honestly, I think this is one of the coolest things I've learned today. One of the things I do is I do ads. And in that, the ads follow people around, right? So this is like activating your brain to sort of work like an ad. You see it once, you think about it once, and then your brain is like, oh, you like that? Let me find you more. Let me put it more in front of you. Fascinating. And I guess that can be used for anything, really, to your advantage.
Yeah. Anything you want to create in your life. So that's why manifestation or mantras, like these things are very important, because if you keep saying that, it's not that you're magically, having a fairy tale bringing you something. No, you are creating your own focus and setting up your filter so that you can actually spot opportunities in the world related to what you actually need right now. That's what's happening.
I love that. So with that, let's set our filter and tile it in with something that I ask everyone. My own little mantra, my own little filter. I should start calling it a filter. I want to ask you the question. I love saying, what you don't change, you choose. So what are you choosing today? So Dorota, I'd love to ask you, what are you choosing today?
I'm choosing today something that is my this year word, which is curiosity. So I'm choosing to be curious and asking curious questions and asking them to others, but also to myself. So being curious about what I'm thinking, why I'm thinking this, do I want to keep it? Do I want to change the thinking? And then being curious about others, but curiosity without judgment. So just like really genuinely curious. It's different because you can ask a question that seems curious, but it's more like judgment. So
yes,
no, that's not
I know
the
the
piece.
one.
Yeah, just being the really, really curious of what's happening to kind of go deeper into things around me and around other people.
Let's all choose curiosity. Yes, I like that. Okay. Well, honestly, this was a fascinating conversation. I feel like I learned so much, especially that little tidbit. I think when my husband gets home, I'm going to tell him. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you
Dorota,
feel it was valuable.
it was amazing. It really was. Dorota, where can the people connect with you, find you? How can they work with you?
Yes, good question. So first of all, I'm on LinkedIn under my name, Dorota Kosiorek, so you can find me there. I'm on Instagram as well. It's Mind by Dorota. And best way to connect with me probably is my website, dorotakosiorek.com. You can go there. And if anyone is interested in chatting or exploring how I work, I have a free discovery call that I offer. It's a 50-minute call where we connect together, we talk, and the goal of that call is to identify key blockers for you right now. And I'm gonna suggest 3 things you could do to start making the change in your life that you want to unlock those blockers. And then if it it's, seems like we are a fit, then I'm going to invite the person to work with me.
Oh, I love that. That's a really good call. I would honestly, if you're listening to this, go on the call. Go on the call, shift your life, get that win, and tell people how Dorota helped you, and then send them her way. Because I'm telling you, we all need to shift something in our lives. So go and book that call if you found this helpful. I found this extremely helpful, and I'm so thankful that I got to connect with you. It's through curiosity that we met, and I'm so thankful that that's how we have found ourselves today. So yes, again, thank you for being here. And yes, everyone, that is the end of our episode. You made it to the end. Congrats. You are amazing. Again, my name is Carol Kabale. This has been the Client Code Podcast. And until next time, bye.